The Jeep's engine fell silent. The sandy track ended at a jungle-covered cliff. Far below, the ocean crashed against the rocks. Anna finally turned to me. Janusz, I have secrets. They're the reason I came here. I never stopped thinking about you. Everything I did was to protect you. I looked into her eyes. She was telling the truth, but not the whole truth. Let me explain. It all began a few days earlier.
Next stop, Victoria. All aboard.
Two men in dark suits emerged from the underground station. One was older, with short, graying hair. The other was much younger, broad-shouldered, silent, and watchful. Both wore elegant business suits. The older man scanned the area. This way. He spoke quietly and headed toward the exit. The younger man followed without a word. They stepped onto the long escalators rising toward street level. Advertising screens flashed on both sides as London moved through another ordinary afternoon. People hurried home from work. Others disappeared into the endless flow of commuters. No one paid any attention to the two men in dark suits. That was exactly the point. After passing through the ticket barriers, they paused for only a second before the crowd carried them outside. Sunlight reflected from the glass buildings surrounding Vauxhall Station. "Where to now, Colonel?" the younger man asked. The older man gave him a disapproving look. "Adam, I've told you before, don't use my rank in public. We're here unofficially." "Sorry, boss." The colonel nodded. "Better." He looked across the street. "The SIS headquarters is about 300 meters from here. You can't miss it." Standing opposite Vauxhall Station, they turned left. Across the road, a massive building came into view. Constructed from sandstone and green glass, it looked less like an office and more like a modern fortress. "So this is it?" Adam said, impressed. "Yes, this is our destination." "What time is it?" 2:40 p.m. "Perfect. Our meeting with the director of SIS is at 3. That within the next hour, they would hear a story that would change many lives forever." They stopped briefly in front of the entrance and stepped inside.
Good morning. How can I help you?
The lobby was peaceful. Just a few staff members and 2 security guards. One of them walked up to the visitors. "Gentlemen, do you have an appointment?" The colonel pulled some documents from his briefcase. "Yes, we have an appointment with the director of Section 6. Here are our credentials." The guard examined them thoroughly. He took his time. After a moment, he nodded. "Please, take a seat. The director has been notified." They sat in a small waiting area. International newspapers lay on the tables. Silence filled the room. A few minutes later, the guard returned. He was accompanied by a tall, blonde woman in an elegant navy suit. "Gentlemen, right this way, please. The director is expecting you." They followed her down a long hallway. Adam walked a few steps behind. He observed his surroundings, every single detail. They stopped in front of an elevator. The assistant glanced at a small scanner. A moment later, she punched in a code. The doors slid open almost silently. "After you." They stepped inside. Adam looked around with curiosity. The elevator was spacious. The walls were covered in mirrors. A thick carpet lined the floor. There were no buttons to be seen. "6th floor," the assistant said. The doors closed almost silently. For a moment, there was complete silence. Adam looked around closely. "I don't see any buttons," he said quietly. The assistant smiled. It's one of our security protocols. She turned toward a small microphone. 6th floor. The elevator moved instantly. Access to each floor is strictly restricted. My voice profile is registered in the system. I can't just stop the elevator on any level, only on those I'm cleared for. Adam nodded. Clever. The colonel remained silent. He kept analyzing every detail. After a moment, he looked at the assistant. You didn't screen us. You didn't search our briefcases. How do you know we aren't carrying weapons? The assistant simply smiled. She didn't give an answer. A chime announced the end of the ride. The doors parted slowly. A long, brightly lit corridor stretched out before them. A security officer sat right by the elevator. It looked as if he was waiting just for them. As they drew closer, he handed each of them a small piece of paper. A souvenir from your visit. Adam looked at the image. He froze. The printout clearly showed everything he had on him. His papers, his phone, the contents of his pockets, even the items concealed under his jacket. The colonel also studied the photograph. I see, he said softly. Adam looked up. What if we actually had weapons? The security officer offered a polite smile. I'm not at liberty to disclose that information. The assistant made an inviting gesture. Gentlemen, right this way, please. They walked down the long corridor. Close doors lined both sides.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to receive guests from the former Eastern Bloc. Today, we are allies.
After a few dozen yards, the assistant stopped before a large, dark, leather-padded door. She pressed the intercom button.
Director, your guests have arrived.
A few seconds later, the lock clicked softly. The door opened.
Good morning,
The duty
gentlemen.
officer stood in the
Please come
doorway. The office door shut quietly behind them.
Please, make yourselves comfortable.
Silence
Tea
filled
or
the
coffee?
room for a
Tea
moment.
would be excellent, thank you.
The director looked at his two guests. He slowly set down his teacup. For a split second, he seemed to hesitate on where to begin. Gentlemen, I won't mince words. We have a serious problem. One of our operatives, and we don't even know if he's still alive, left us a brief message. It's the only trace we have left of him. He opened a file on his desk. He pulled out a single sheet of paper. He looked at it. Then he began to read. I am badly wounded. I don't know if I can make delivery. I am hiding it, where only he knows the way. That was it. Not another word followed. The colonel furrowed his brow. I must admit, I can't make heads or tails of this. The director closed the file. He turned it over in his hands for a moment, as if weighing every upcoming word. We couldn't make sense of it either for a long time. It wasn't until we analyzed his background that we were led to a specific individual, or rather, to one person. He looked straight at the colonel. To your agent, codename Phoenix. The colonel and Adam exchanged glances. Neither said a word. Yes, I know this operative. The director nodded. That's exactly what we anticipated. Following Poland's accession to NATO, several of your top personnel were deployed to the Caribbean for training, alongside our operative. and CIA personnel. The objective was to establish joint operational protocols in the event of threats that could impact more than one nation. Adam smiled faintly. It seems they got to know each other quite well. A barely perceptible smile touched the director's face as well, but it vanished instantly. He turned dead serious. Gentlemen, from this moment on, everything you hear is classified at the highest level of secrecy. Nothing, absolutely nothing, leaves this room. The colonel nodded. Understood.
That's all I can tell you. For now. Now, you know.